Hello friends, Tony here. I'm going to start a new series about TypeScript. So we are going to learn TypeScript, and TypeScript is a JavaScript with syntax for types. TypeScript is strongly typed programming language that builds on JavaScript and giving you better tooling at any scale. And we have the example here. So for example, const user equal with an object, and in this object we have the first name, last name and role. And when we say console.log user.name, because we don't have the name in here, is going to go out the error here. So property name does not exist on type object with first name, last name and roles. Okay, so we are going to get the errors immediately in the file when you use here. Okay, I'm going to go to download and download TypeScript. So TypeScript can be installed through 3 installation routes depending on how you intend to use it: an npm module, a NuGet package, or Visual Studio Code. And I'm going to use the npm. So if we scroll down, we have here TypeScript in your project. So to install TypeScript in the project, but I want to install, I want to globally install TypeScript, and it can be handy to have TypeScript available across all projects, and we can do that via npm. So first you need to have npm. If I open nodejs.org here, you can download the Node.js and install Node.js. And after that, if I come here and say node -- version, as you can see, I have Node.js and also npm -- version. We have also the npm. After the npm, let's install the TypeScript globally, and you can use npm to install TypeScript globally. This means that you can use then the tsc command anywhere in your terminal. And to do this, run the npm install -g TypeScript, and this will install the latest version, currently 5.3. So I'm going to copy that and paste that in, hit enter. And yeah, we need to run with sudo privileges. And now if I say tsc -- version, yeah, we have version 5.3. Okay, now I'm going to navigate in my code directory, and here I'm going to make a TypeScript directory, and I'm going to cd the TypeScript. And in here now I'm going to instantiate a TypeScript configuration file, and we can do that with this tsc command. So we can say tsc --init, and as you can see, we have here created a new tsconfig.json with some target module, strict mode, and so on. And I'm going to open this project with VS Code here. And as you can see, we have only this file, so the configuration file. And if I open, and yeah, we have a target here, as you can see, ES 2016. So set the JavaScript language version. Also, we have more here. If we scroll down, strict to true, so enable all the strict type checking options, and so on. Now we are good, and in the next video we are going to start with the TypeScript. Okay friends, I hope you enjoy, and if you like such a videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video and share with your friends. All the best. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here. So welcome back. In the previous video we installed TypeScript globally in our machine. And also let me open one more time this TypeScript website. So TypeScript is JavaScript with syntax for types. TypeScript is a strongly typed programming language. So as we can see also on the name, we have TypeScript. So TypeScript is all about types. But what is a type? A type is a definition assigned to a value and defines the thing that you can or cannot do with that kind of value. Okay? So one more time, a type is a definition assigned to a value and defines the thing that you can or cannot do with that kind of value. And let me copy this example in here, and I'm going to open my VS Code, and in this project right now we have only the tsconfig file. I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to name it index.tx for TypeScript. Hit enter and paste right now this one, and as you can see, immediately we have the error here. So property name does not exist on type, and we have an object with first name colon string. So the first name has a type string, as you can see, because we have assigned this first name to string. And with a TypeScript, we can see we get the error to the error very quickly when we use that variable. Okay, now let's see some examples. So for example, let's say let, and I'm going to say first name to be equal with John, but I'm going to assign this to string. So I'm going to say colon and string, as we saw also on that error. So right now this is a string type, so as you can see, let first name is string, and as I told you previously, a type is a definition assigned to value and defines the thing that you can or cannot do with that kind of value. Now what we can do with this value, we have assigned a type string. So for example, we can call all the string methods, because this is a string, we can call all the string methods. And let's say, for example, I'm going to say let name length to be equal with first name dot length. As you can see, we don't have any error. So we call this length method on first name because this first name is a string, and the length property returns the length of a string. But what we cannot do with this first name, because we assign a string, is we cannot call number methods. Okay, this is a string, so we cannot call number methods on a string. If I say let name the exponential to be equal with first name dot the exponential. But as you can see, we have the error here because property the exponential does not exist on type string. So we cannot call the number methods on this first name because this first name is assigned the string type. And I'm going to say here, so we can call all string methods, and I will just copy this and paste it here. We cannot call number methods. Okay, so we can call string methods on this first name because this has a string type, and we cannot call number methods on this first name because has a string type. But if and because we have error, I'm going to leave it for now. So if I create a new variable, I'm going to say my number here, and I'm going to assign the number type. Now what we can do with this is, because we assign number type, we can call all number methods on this one, and we cannot call string methods. Okay, so it's going to be an opposite of this one. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here just to save some time. We cannot call string methods, and we can call all number methods on this one, on my number. So let's say my number length to be equal with my number length. As you can see, property length does not exist on type number. And also if I change now to my number the exponential and also change here to be my number. Now we don't have error here because this is my number is a type number and this is a number method. Okay, also let's see, for example, let's create here or we can say const, and I'm going to say my array. I'm going to create an array here, and yeah, we are going to assign this to an array of numbers. And what we can do, for example, here we can loop through the array and we can see that if a TypeScript is going to show error or not. So let's say my array, and as you can see, it's going to suggest us to make a for each and just say console log element. And as you can see, we don't have an error here, but if we change that just a number and also here just a number, yeah, we have the error because property for each does not exist on type number. But if we leave an array, we don't have the error. Okay friends, that's it all about this video. I hope you enjoy, and if you like such videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video and share with your friends. All the best and see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here, so welcome back. Now we are when we left in the previous video in this file, and in this video now let's see how we can catch the errors in TypeScript when we work with the TypeScript. And we saw a little bit in the previous video. So if I change this const my array type from an array of numbers to just a number, and also I'm going to add a number here. So for example 42, I'm going to save this file, and immediately you can see we have here an underline error. So property for each does not exist on type number. So the TypeScript is showing to us an underline error, which means we can catch the error before the build time. So even before it compiles your function into JavaScript or your file into JavaScript, it tells you that this is not correct, and this is how it helps you to write a better code. Now this is the first way of looking the errors in TypeScript, and that is within your code editor itself, the IDE. And this is the most prominent and most used way as well. So the flow with working with TypeScript is pretty smooth because as in when we write code, we get those suggestions within your IDE and you pretty much come to know where you've gone wrong. Now let's take a look to another place where you can get those kind of errors. So if we try to compile this file, as you can see we have here index.ts and we are in the TypeScript directory. If I open the terminal in here, we are in the TypeScript as well. As you can see, I'm going to zoom it a little bit. Okay, now if I say here tsc and index.ts for this file, so I'm going to compile this index TypeScript. If I hit enter, as you can see, it's going to create index.js, but it's going to show us the same error we had also with an underline error. So here we had property for each does not exist on type number, and also here property for each does not exist on type number. And also it's going to show us where this error here is. So on this myArray.forEach in here. So found one error in index.typescript in the line 19. So you see, when I try to compile this file, I get an error and the same error that was being printed by my IDE as well. Let's clean this, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to close also this one. I'm going to open the Arc browser and I'm going to navigate to vite.js. So vite.js, I'm going to create a vite.js project, TypeScript project. So go to getting started, and if we scroll down, just say npm create vite at latest, or you can use yarn, pnpm and bun. I'm going to use just npm right now, and I'm going to open a warp terminal. Okay, we are in the TypeScript directory, but I'm going to go back and remove this TypeScript. Good. Now I'm going to paste this npm create with aliases. I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say TypeScript here. Hit enter, and I want vanilla. Hit enter, and I want TypeScript, yes. Okay, now cd the TypeScript and run npm install and npm run dev. So npm install. Okay, and npm run dev. Now I have an alias for this, just nrd, hit enter, and now we have this URL to open our project. Okay, so if I copy this URL and then come here and paste that in and hit enter, here we have with plus TypeScript. And if I open this project with the VS Code, just to show you, here we have the index HTML. We just have the div with ID up and script with type module, source main ts, and in the source we have this main ts. And let me just select all here, remove, and I'm going to remove also these counters, and I'm going to say here let message to be a type of string, and I'm going to say hello world, and then I'm going to say console log message. Let's save. Now if I open here the project, yeah, here we are in the project, but we don't see the console log, and I'm going to open the console log, and here we have hello world. Okay friends, that's it all about this video, how we can catch the errors with TypeScript, and also we created a with TypeScript vanilla project. Now if you like such videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best, thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here, so welcome back. Here we are when we left in the previous video, and in this video we are going to start to learn the string type. We have the example, but also I have opened here the TypeScript documentation website, and here I am in the everyday types section. And you can read more, but here we have the primitive types. We have string, number, and Boolean. So JavaScript has three very commonly used primitive types. We have string, number, and Boolean. Each has a corresponding type in TypeScript. As you may expect, these are the same names you see if you use the JavaScript type of operator on a value of those types. So string represents string values like hello world, number is for numbers like 42. So JavaScript does not have a special runtime value for integers, so there's no equivalent to int or float. Everything is simply number. And we have also Boolean, which is for the two values true and false. Okay, and you can see some examples here, so also arrays, any, and so on. Now let's open the VS Code, and here we have this example, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to name it first name, and it be equal with a John. Okay, now let's show you how we can assign a type to this variable. We can use colon, you have seen this, and the name of the type, which is in this case is going to be string. So this is a syntax to assign types to variables. So the name of the variable followed by a colon, and then the type that you want to assign to that particular variable. So now in this case, the first name variable, we have assigned the type string. Okay, now let's also, I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to say full name. And yeah, we have used here template literals. So full name colon, so we assign this full name to a string type, or we can use just first name plus empty space plus though, like this. And as you can see, we don't have any error at this point. As you may know, any string methods can be used in this type of string. Okay, so for example, we can say full name dot split. So if I just, let me copy this, and I'm going to console log this one. Okay, if I save also, I have run here the npm run dev, and I'm going to copy this URL and open it here. So paste that in, hit enter, open the console, and as you can see, we have here John and Doe because we split the full name. So we have first name and also the Doe, which is this one. Also, you can say for example, full name, I'm going to use the uppercase. So if I save and come here, yeah, we have the John Doe in uppercase. That's it, what we can do with this string type. But what we cannot do is, for example, we cannot call number methods. So if I say full name, and I'm going to use again the exponential, as you can see, we have property the exponential does not exist on type string. Or if I use for example max, and instead of typing here numbers, with say full name, as you can see, we have the error because argument of type string is not assignable to parameter of type number. Also, if I say log here, the same thing, argument of type string is not assignable to parameter of type number. The same thing if we want, so for example, if I say full name now to be equal with, I'm going to use first name. Okay, but instead of do, I'm going to change that to Swift. And if we say again console log after this one, save, and let's see now here, yeah, we have John Swift down there. So we don't have any error if we change this full name to this one. But if I say full name to be equal with a number, of course, it's going to show us underline error, type number is not assignable to type string. Okay, so I'm going to comment also this one, and let's just, I'm going to move this up here. So this is what we can do. What we can do, and I'm going to copy that and paste it down there. What we cannot do with the type of string. Okay, and that's it all about this video. I hope you enjoy, and if you like such videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Hello friends, Tony here, so welcome back. In the previous video we worked with the type string, and here we have the example. So what we can do with a string type of, or type string, so I'm going to say with a string type, and also what we cannot do with a string type. and I'm going to save this file in a new directory. So here in the source directory, I'm going to create a new directory, and I'm going to say types here. Okay, and here I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to name this string .ts. Okay, hit enter, and now let's copy all of this one and paste it on the string just to save here. And I'm going to create a GitHub repository for that to have there if you want to have all the code. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and let's come here and remove. Okay, good. So what we can do and what we cannot do. Now let's start and work with number type. Okay, so let's create a variable, and I'm going to name it my number. We are going to give it a number type, and yeah, let's assign that 42. Okay, so we have a variable, then colon, and then the type we want to give to this variable, and we assign that 42. Now you can assign any number to this particular variable, even floats. So let's say down there my number to be equal with for example 100. As you can see, we don't have any error, so TypeScript is not showing underline error. Also, we can assign the floats. So floats are also numbers in TypeScript, and in JavaScript we can say my number to be equal with 32.4. Okay, as you can see, also here we don't have underline error, and also we can add negative values. So negative values are also considered as valid numbers. If I say my number to be equal with minus 150, for example, yeah, as you can see, TypeScript doesn't complain here. Apart from those little numbers, now you can also save an expression that evaluates the valid number as well. So for example, if we say here my number to be equal with 2 plus 2, because 2 plus 2 is going to be a number, we don't have any error. Also, if we say my number minus 2 and my number 2 multiply 2, the same thing. Also, if I say my number, so for example, I'm going to say infinity, and I'm going to multiply by 0.12. As you can see, also here we don't have the TypeScript doesn't complain. Okay, now here I'm going to show you another example. Let's say my number here is going to be equal with, and I'm going to say parse integer, and I'm going to add a number but in quotes. If I just cut that and paste it here, yeah, right now it's going to show the underline error, so type string is not assignable. But if we add that in the parse integer, which is going to transform this to an integer, TypeScript does complain here as well. So in this particular expression, I am passing here 42, and then I'm executing the parsing function on the particular string, which ultimately converts this string over here into number 42. Okay, so this is what we can do with the number type, and I'm going to say here what we can do with a number type and what we cannot do. So here I'm going to say what we cannot do with a number type. So now to the number variable, you cannot assign any other value apart from numbers. So I can again try assigning in the string to the number variable, but it will not work because TypeScript will throw the error. Okay, so if I say just right? This, yeah, we have the error. Also, if I say my number to uppercase, yeah, also here we have the error, so property to uppercase does not exist on type number. Here we have type string is not assignable to type number, and so on. So what we cannot do with a number type and what we can do with a number type. Okay, now here in the types, I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to name it number.ts, hit enter, and I'm going to select all here, copy, paste it in this one, save, and then remove and save this one. Okay, so that's it for number type. I hope you enjoy, and if you like such a videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here, so welcome back. In the previous video we worked with the number type, and here in the documentation of TypeScript we have the primitives string, number, and Boolean. So we worked with string, number. Now let's start and work with the Boolean. Okay, so Boolean is for the two values, true and false. And here we are in the numbers. I'm going to start on mine.ts file. And now a Boolean type, as the name suggests, always hold values that are either true or false. And let's create some examples. I'm going to declare a variable. I'm going to say let my Boolean. Yeah, we are going to assign that the Boolean type, and by default I'm going to say it's equal to true. Okay, now of course we can say my Boolean to be equal to false, and as you can see we don't have any underline error. Also with a Boolean we can add an expression which returns true or false. So if I say my Boolean to be equals not with 100, but I'm going to say 100 is greater than 10, and that this expression is true. As you can see, we don't have any error here. Also, we can say right here, so my Boolean to be equal with, and I'm going to say is greater or equal, yes, and also my Boolean to be equal with this one, yes. One more, I'm going to say my Boolean, and I'm going to use type of, and 100 is a number. Yeah, as you can see, because 100 is a type of number, we have true, and then we have no error. Also, if I say my Boolean to be equal with type of, and I'm going to say now not a number, yes, so this is false, but so here we have no error. And also I'm going to say my Boolean to be equal with, and now I'm going to use type of 100 is a string, because we have added this in quotes, is true. One more thing, we can say my Boolean to be equal with 100. This is false, and also we don't have any error. Also, if we add here, so I'm going to copy this and paste it down there. Just say Tony, for example. This is false, but we don't have any error. So this is what we can do with a type of a Boolean, but what we cannot do, so I'm going to say here what we can do with a Boolean type. And now I'm going to start comment what we cannot do with a Boolean type. Okay, now let's start. One important thing that you need to note over here is that undefined and null are not considered as false values. Okay, so you cannot assign undefined and null to the Boolean value variable. So if I say my Boolean and to be equal with null, yeah, we have an underline error. So type null is not assignable to type Boolean. Also, if I say my Boolean to be equal with undefined, also here we have type undefined is not assignable to type Boolean. And let's show also some examples of what we cannot do with the Boolean type. So if I say my Boolean to be equal with true, but here I have added this on quotes, which means this is a string now, and yeah, type string is not assignable to type Boolean. Also, if I say my Boolean to 100, which is this is a number, so now type number is not assignable to type Boolean, and not if I say just an object, yeah, also here type object is not assignable to type Boolean. Okay, friends, that's it all about this video. So what we can do and what we cannot do with a Boolean type. So we learn Boolean type, and now let's create here on types a new file, and I'm going to name it boolean.ts, hit enter, and let's select all here and copy and paste it on this one. I'm going to save, close this one, remove from here and save. Okay, that's all about this video. I hope you enjoy, and don't forget, if you like such a video, subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here. Now in this video, let's take a look at any type. So TypeScript also has a special type, any, that you can use whenever you don't want a particular value to cause type checking errors. So when a value is of type any, you can access any properties of it, call it like a function, assign it to a value of any type, or pretty much anything else that's syntactically legal. And let me open the VS Code. And here, now any type is the default type in JavaScript that you already been working with, and it suggests that the value can be of type any. And let's see this with an example. So let me declare a variable over here, and let me assign it a type of any. So I'm going to say let my name is going to be of type any. Okay, and I'm going to assign the tone here. Very good. Okay, now in this case, the my name variable is of type any, so this means I can store any kind of value in the my name variable that I have over here, and TypeScript is not going to complain even if I change the type of the value. So for example, I can assign it a number to the my name instead of assigning to a string. Okay, see, if I say here my name to be equal with the 42, as you can see, we don't have any error. Also, if I assign that so my name to true, yeah, we don't have any error. Also, if I say my name to an object, also if I say my name to an array, as you can see, the TypeScript is not showing an underline error here. So no matter what value I assign to this variable, TypeScript will not complain. And this is what we want to avoid with a TypeScript. So the whole purpose of using TypeScript is to assign strict types to our values. You don't want to use any type until there is no other solution available. So it's good to know that this kind of type exists in TypeScript, but we are not going to use this often. Okay, now let's see if we change this any type to unknown type. Yeah, we don't have the error here. Also, we don't have error here, here, and here. So it's almost the same as the any type. But what if I create here a function? So I'm going to say function, I'm going to say plus Joe, which is going to accept a number here, and what this is going to do is going to return number plus 2. And as you can see right now, we don't have any error. Okay, what if I change the number type to be a type any? Yeah, everything works correctly. But what if I change the number to be a type unknown? What do you think is going to happen? So if I say unknown, now we have error, underline error, so number is of type unknown. So here we have what difference the unknown type from the any type. Okay, so in this video we learn about any type and also the unknown type, and I hope you enjoy this video. Now let's create here a new file, and I'm going to say any dash and also unknown, because are the same except here as I told you. And let me select all, copy, go over here, paste it, save now, and let's close this, and then let's remove everything from here and save. And that's it all about this video. I hope you enjoy, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here. Welcome back. Now in this video I'm going to start with a big integer type. So JavaScript big int variables are used to store big integer values that are too big to be represented by a normal JavaScript number. JavaScript integers are only accurate up to 50 digits. So let's say here, I'm going to say let x to be equal with 15. And let's add 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. And if I say console log x to be equal with x, save, I have run here the npm run dev, and also if I open here, yeah, we have here x to be equal with the same number we have here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. But if I create here the let y, for example, to be more than with 16, for example, here, and if I say console log y to be equal with the y, and as you can see here we have the error, numeric literals with absolute values equal to 253 or greater are too large to be represented accurately as integers. And if I save and come here, as you can see, the y now is being rounded to this number. Okay, so in JavaScript, all numbers are stored in a 64-bit floating point format, IEEE 754 standard. With this standard, large integer cannot be exactly represented and will be rounded, as we saw here, and integer values outside this range lose the precision. Now in the ES6 we have max and min properties to the number objects. So let's say here let x to be equal with number, and we can call the max safe integer, and y to be number, and I'm going to say min safe integer. And if I save and come here, this is the max safe integer and the min safe integer in JavaScript. Okay, so if I say here, I'm going to create a new variable, so let, and I'm going to say x plus 1, which is going to be x plus 1, and also x plus 2. So let x plus 2 to be x plus 2, and if I just console log x plus 1, which is going to be this one, and x plus 2, this one. If I save and come here, as you can see, the x plus 1 is the same as the x plus 2, the same number. Of course, if I say here one more log, if the x plus 1 is triple equal with x plus 2. And if I save this and see, we have true here, which is not correct because here we have added 1 and here we have added 2. Okay, so with larger than this max safe integer is going to lose the precision and is going to be rounded. Okay, now I'm going to scroll down here, and there are two methods to create a big integer in JavaScript. The first way to create a big int is to use the constructor method. So let's create a big int by calling the big int constructor method first. I'm going to say let big integer 1 to be equal with, you can use the big integer constructor method and pass either a string or an integer to it to create a big integer. Another method to create a big int in a JavaScript is to use the literal syntax. So let's say let big integer 2 to be 1, and you can add a number and then you can add and here. And also this one is a big integer. So if I say log big integer 1 and also log big integer 2 and say come here, we have big integer 1 which is 1 and the n at the end, and also big integer 2 the number we added and the n. Okay, so if you need to deal with a number that is larger than this maximum number and with precision, you will need to use big integer. And in order to declare big integer in a TypeScript, we use a vacant keyword while declaring a variable. So let me declare here a variable. I'm going to say let my big integer 1, which is going to be big integer in lowercase, and let's say equal with, and I'm going to use the big integer constructor method, and let's add the number here. Okay, also let's say let my big integer 2, and in this case I'm going to use a number and then I'm going to add the n at the end. Okay, so we have my big integer 1 and big integer 2, and let's console log them. Log my big integer 1 and also I'm going to log my big integer 2. So my big integer 1, as you can see, has the n at the end. We created with big integer method, and big integer 2 the same thing. Now you can use all the mathematical operators, comparison operators, as well as conditional statements with a big integer. So we can say, for example, console log, and I'm going to use not like this, but I'm going to say my big integer 1 plus my big integer 2, and we have a big integer here. So if I say let my big integer, not 1, but I'm going to create with a 3, which is going to be a type of big integer, and I'm going to say this one is going to be equal with my big integer 1 plus my big integer 2, and as you can see we don't have any error. And the same thing, we can just console log that. So my big integer 3, and this is what we can do. Now what we cannot do, and let's start here. So what we can do with big integer and what we cannot do with big integer. So I'm going to say here what we cannot do. Okay, so now there are a few things that you can do with numbers, but you can't do with a big integer. So the first thing is that a big integer cannot have decimal values. So if I say here, let my decimal to be a big integer type. Okay, so big integer type. And as you can see, as I suggested, but here we have the error because type number is not assignable to type big integer. This is considered as a number. If I remove, also if I add n at the end, yeah, we have the error. Now if I remove the dot here, we don't have error. I'm going to leave because this is what we cannot do with a big integer. And now apart from this, you cannot use the built-in math object with big integer, which works with numbers. Okay, so if I say here, also let my math to be equal of number first, I'm going to say. And yeah, we have math.po. Now if I change the type to be a big int, we have the error. So type number is not assignable to type big integer because this is a number, considered a number. Also, if I say here log and not this one, the same thing, we have the error. Type number is not assignable to type big integer. Okay friends, that's it all about this video and I hope you enjoyed. So in this video we worked with big integers. So let's go to types and create a new file, and I'm going to name it bigint.ts. Now let's go to first one, select all, copy, and go to second and paste it here. Let's save, close this one, remove everything from here and save this one as well. And that's it all about this video. I hope you enjoy, and if you like such a video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here. So welcome back. In this video, we are going to have a look at the object type on TypeScript. We will first declare an object in TypeScript and see how TypeScript infers it. So let me quickly create a user object here. I'm going to say let a user to be equal with an empty object. Okay, so we have our user object here, and I will add two properties to the user object. So let's say, for example, I'm going to say name to be John and not age. I'm going to say email, also we can say age. So the email is going to say testexample.com and age, I'm going to say 30. Okay, let's save. Now let's see what TypeScript infers from this. So if I say here let user, and as you can see, a user now is a type object and has a name property which is a string, an email which is a string, and the age which is a number. Okay, so TypeScript accurately infers that the user variable will be of type object and it will have three properties, that is a name which is a type of string, the email which is a type of string, and the age which is a type of number. Now if I hover over the individual properties of the object, TypeScript is able to infer them correctly as well based on the values that have been defined to them. So as you can see, name is a string, email is a string, and the age is a number. Okay, but what if I need to create a definitely type object and cannot rely on TypeScript inference? So this is how we can do it. We use the same syntax as we did for other variables of type declaration. So we can say here, let, for example, I'm going to create admin, colon, and here we add object, an empty object, and I'm going to say to be equal with an empty object. So we use a colon followed by the object literal syntax immediately after the variable name. Now this does not tell much the TypeScript about the properties of the admin, and it's not very helpful. So it just tells TypeScript that the admin will be a type of object. Okay, so we can go ahead and assign some properties to this object and tell TypeScript the type of properties that will be there within this object. So let's add the name, email, and age, and also isAdmin to this one. So I'm going to say here name, email, and age, and also I'm going to say isAdmin to be Boolean. And as you can see, the TypeScript added an underline error. So if I hover it, type object is missing the following properties from type. And we have the object which we added to this admin. So name string, email string, age number, and isAdmin Boolean. Okay, so this object which we have assigned to the admin doesn't have the name, email, age, and isAdmin. So let's add also here. So I'm going to say name to be John, and let's leave it like this. So name John, email test example, age 13, and isAdmin to true. And right now we don't have the underline error from the TypeScript. Okay, so while we defining the properties of an object and their types, you will see over here that the property name is followed by the value and then a semicolon. Okay, but while declaring objects in JavaScript, we use commas after each property, as you can see also in here. So this is a difference that you would need to keep in mind while declaring properties of objects. Okay, so let's create another example. Now I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to say let create a post, and this post is going to be a type of object. Okay, so you'll see that I have just created a variable post over here and define its type as an object. Now I'm going to add some more properties to this particular object. So as you can see, post is a type object, and let's add, for example, title, and let's scroll down. Yeah, I have immediately populate, but I'm going just to leave right now with a title, body, author, likes, which is a number, and is published, which is a Boolean. Okay, now you see that we have declared the structure of our post object, and now whenever we will create a new post, TypeScript will prompt us to include all of the mandatory properties of the post object. So let's try and create a post here. If I say post to be equal with, but right now I have suggestion, I'm not going to do that. As we can see, we have an error here. So type object is missing the following properties from type: title string, body string, author string, likes number, and is published to be Boolean. So I'm going to say title, post title, body, post body, author, post author, likes 5, and is published to true. Now we don't have any error. There can be instances when you need a property in your project which is not mandatory or is optional. So our post here can have an image property which is a URL to an image and is optional. So let me show you how you can do that. Let me first create an image property within our post and define its type as a string. So I'm going to come here and say image or image URL. I'm going to say like this, which is going to be of type string. Okay, as you can see right now, the TypeScript is going to show an error because property image URL is missing in type title string, body string, author string, likes number is published to true, but required in type title string, body string, author string, likes number is published, and image URL. And as I told you, this I want to be optional. Now, in order to make any property optional, all you need to do is to add a question mark at the end of the property name. And let's do that in our image URL. So at the end of this property name, I'm going to add question mark. And as you can see, we don't have any underline error. And if we want, we can add the image URL to be, for example, this URL, and also right now we don't have any underline error. Okay friends, that's it all about the object type in TypeScript, what I wanted to show you. And let's go on types here and create a new file, and I'm going to name it object.typescript. Hit enter, navigate the main TS, select all, cut here, save, and go to object and paste it here. I'm going to save it and close this one. Good. Now I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here. Now let's work with arrays in this video. An array is a special type of data type which can store multiple values of a different data type sequentially using a special syntax. And TypeScript supports arrays similar to JavaScript, and there are two ways to declare an array. So using square brackets, and we can say, for example, let, and I'm going to use, we can say array here without declaring that. So if I can say, if I say like this, and if I hover it, as you can see, the TypeScript infers that the array variable is a type array of numbers. Of course, now let's say let names, I'm going to say, so we can say type of array of strings, and here we have an array of strings. Okay, so now this is using square brackets. Now the method 2 is using a generic array type, so we can say let names should be an array of strings. Okay, and both methods produce the same output. Now arrays can contain elements of any data type, so numbers, strings, or even objects, because right now we have only strings here or only numbers here. But we can say, if I say here let names 3, and I'm going to assign that with an array of strings, but also I'm going to add numbers, so 1 and 2. Now if I hover over this variable, the TypeScript infers that this is an array of string and numbers. So this array contains string and numbers. Of course, now let's copy and paste down there. Let's change this number, the names 4, and here also I'm going to add a Boolean type. So I'm going to say, for example, false and true as well. If I hover it, you can see now the TypeScript infers that we have an array which contains string, number, and Boolean. And as I told you, also we can add objects. So let's say add an object with a name A, and if I hover it, now we have here TypeScript infers that this is an array which contains string, number, Boolean, and also an object with a name which is a type of string. Okay, so we have an array, and in parentheses we have pipe number, pipe Boolean, pipe the object, which is this one. So this means we can say here let, and now I'm going to say names 5, and here I'm going to declare that the names 5 variable is an array of, for example, string and numbers. So let's add also number here, and let's close that. Also using the generic array type, we can say let names 6 to be a type of array, and here we pass string, pipe, and number. And why we have this error here? Yeah. Okay, and now let's see how we can access the elements on the array. So the array element can be accessed using the index of an element. So for example, here we have this names 6, and we can use the index of the element. For example, we have here A, and the index start from 0, and tag says this. In the names 6, we can say with console log this, console log names 6 A, I'm going to say, okay, and here I'm going to say names 6. In the array, I pass here the index 0, which is this one. Now, if I save this and let's open the browser, you can see the names 6A. So I'm going to say like this. And now, yeah, names 6A. Of course, now, as I told you, it's going to start from the index. So we can say start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I type 6, it's going to be equal with 2. So 2, and here the index 6. Save, come here. Now we have 2 here. Also, arrays can be declared and initialized separately. So for example, we can say here, I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to say let names 7, but I'm going to remove this. I'm going just to declare that this is an array which contains string and number, but I prefer to use square brackets. So let me just change that to be an array of strings using this one. And now the names 7 variable is a type of arrays of strings, and we can say down there, so names 7 to be equal, and here I'm going to add an array of strings. So for example, Tony, Steve, and John. Now I'm going to show you TypeScript array methods. Here I have a list. So we have a pop method which removes the last element of the array and return that element. And you can read all of them, so you can pause the video and read, because I'm not going to show you the examples for all of them, but I'm going to show only for the first one. So let me, I'm going to pause for 5 seconds here, so you can pause the video and read all of them and also create examples of them. Now I'm going to create an example for the first one. So pop method, which removes the last element of the array and return that element. So for example, we have this names 7 array, and here is an array of strings. We have Tony, Steve, and John. And if we call this pop method on this array, which as we have here removes the last element of the array and return that element, this means it's going to remove the John and it's going to return that. So let's say console log, and I'm going to say just name 7 dot and the name of the method, which is pop. Okay, and also I'm going to say log names 7 after we removed the John. Okay, so here is going to remove John and return it. And here we are going to have the array of names 7. Now let's save and let's see here. As you can see, we have John. Okay, so removes John and returns it. And then we have the names 7 array with only Tony and Steve, because the John is removed right here. Okay, so here now we have Tony and Steve, and the length is 2. Okay friends, that's it all about this video. I hope you enjoy, and if you like such videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best, thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here. So in the previous video we worked with arrays, and let me come here. I'm going to create a new file because I forgot on the previous one. In here, I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to name it array.ts. And now let's select all in here. I'm going to cut and paste it right here. Save and close the array. And now let's save also this one. So if I come here, we don't have any console log. Good. Now in this video, I'm going to work with tuples. So a tuple type is an array with a predefined length and predefined types in each index position in the array. So let's say here, array is going to be equal with, for example, here I'm going to say a string, Tony, number, and a Boolean. So let's say just true. Okay, now if we hover over this, the TypeScript infers that this is an array which contains string, number, and Boolean. Okay, we can say on this array, for example, array to be equal with, I'm going to add 12 here, a number 12, true, a string, Tony. We can add also another string, for example, Steve and John. And as you can see, we don't have the error because this array is of type array which contains string, number, and Boolean. And this is where the tuple differentiates itself from an array. In a tuple, the type of each element and the length of the array and the order in which the elements are ordered in the array are essential. So for example, here I'm going to create a tuple. I'm going to define the tuple. Let's say let tuple and tuple. And here, here is how we define the tuple, colon, and the array, and here we specify the first element on the array is going to be a number, the second element is going to be a string, and the third element is going to be a Boolean, and it's going to have only 3 elements, this array. Okay, now if we say here a tuple to be equal with this array, something similar we have with array here, and we don't have the error, but with tuple, as you can see, we have the error because type number string true number string Boolean is not assignable to type number string and Boolean, and source has 6 elements but target allows only 3. Okay, we can add more elements to the array, but we can add the tuple. Okay, and here I'm going to leave this like this. So even if we have a Boolean string and number, so let me just, or I'm going to say here tuple to be equal with an array which has, and here now we have number, string, and Boolean. I'm going to change the order to say Tony here 35 and true. As you can see, we have the error because type string is not assignable to type number. On tuple, the number, the first element is going to be a number. It needs to be a number. Okay. The second is a string, but we added a number. So even we have a Boolean, a string, and a number, the order matters in our tuple, and we throw the error. Also, we cannot do that. So I'm going to say here the order of the element is important. Okay, with tuples we can use all the array methods we showed you, and on the arrays here we have all the methods of the array, and let's use this push methods which adds a new elements to the array and returns the new array length. We say tuple here and we add some elements and we get the error, but if we use that method, so I'm going to say tuple dot push, and I'm going to push Steve. As you can see, we don't have the underline error here. And if I say console log tuple, save, and let's see here, we have tuple, and we have 12, John, Tony, True, and Steve. So we add also Steve in here. Now to avoid this, you can say, I'm going to create a new one, tuple2 with number, string, and boolean. But here I'm going to say this is going to be a read only. Now if we say tuple2 push Steve, as you can see, we have the underline error. Property push does not exist on type read only. Okay, we also have a named tuple, so we can name the elements. So let's create a tuple3, which is going to be an array which is going to have a name. For example, the first element is going to be a name and is going to be a string, and the second is going to be age and is going to be number. Okay, now we say tuple3 to be Tony and 35. We are okay. Also, we can use directly here, so Tony and 35, and I'm going to remove this. Just I wanted to show you. And now let's say we have a function here. I'm going to create a function which is going to print a message, and this is going to receive the name, which is going to be a string, and the age. Okay, and then here we are going to console log hello, the name, and you are 35 years old, for example. Okay, now if I call this method, so I'm going to say print message Tony. So I put the string Tony hard-coded and the number 35 for the age, so name and the age. If I save and let's see on the browser, yeah, hello Tony, you are 35 years old. Good. Of course, we can say print message, and here now I'm going to get the name and the age from this tuple3, and we can use the index. So for example, tuple3 0 index, which means for the first element, and 1 for the second one. So the first is a string and is a name. If I save, come here, we have the same thing. Hello Tony, you are 35 years old. Also, I'm going to show you we can destruct the tuple. So we can say const and destruct my name, and I'm going to say test here and my age test from the tuple3. Okay, and then I'm going to say print message passing my name test and my age test, and if I save, we have the same message, Tony, you are 35 years old. Okay, so we have benefits from the name here because we know this is a name and this is the age, and we pass right here. Okay, friends, that's it all about this video. I think we covered all what we want to know about the tuples, and let me just come here and in types I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to say tuple.ts, and let's go the first one, select all, cut, and go to tuple and paste. Okay, save this, close this one, and I'm going to save also this one. And that's it all about this video. I hope you enjoy, and if you like such a video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here. In this video we're going to work with type aliases and interfaces in TypeScript. Till now, so we have defined a variable, let my boolean here, and then colon, and define type, and then we assign the value. Okay, but TypeScript allows types to be defined separately from the variables that use them. Okay, so we can define a type separately from the variable that use them. And aliases and interfaces allow types to be easily shared between variables or objects. Now, type aliases allow defining types with a custom name. Let's say using a type keyword, and type my number to be equal with a number. So my number is a name alias, which is going to be a type number, and maybe let's say here my I'm going to leave it my number, and also I'm going to create one more. So a type keyword, my string to be a string, or we can say, just for better here, I'm going to say my age to be a number, and then my name to be a string. And also I'm going to say my email to be equal of string. So we have a type aliases, my age, a name, and my age, which is a type number. My name is a string, and my email is a string. Now, type aliases can be used for primitive like a string and number, or more complex types such as objects and arrays. So let's try that. Let's create a type now, an object type, a person, and this person is going to be equal with an object. So this type person is an object, and here we add a name property, which is a type my name. Now my name is a string, age, my age is a number, and email, which is a type of my email, which is a string. Okay, so we have type my age, my name, my email, and type person. Now let's go to object, and here we declare a variable, and then we assign that to an object, and then we define the properties in here. But with type aliases, we create a person type, and now we can use this person type to different variables. So let's say const person, which is going to be a type of person, which is the custom type we created, a type alias, which has a name property, and this name property is a type my name, which is a string, an age, which is a type my age, which is a number, and email, which is my email and is type of string. As you can see, we have name the John, age the 30, and email the any email here. If I changed this age, which is a type my age, and my age is a type number, let's change that to string. As you can see, we have an underline error, so type string is not assignable to type number, and the expected type comes from property age, which is declared here on type person. Okay, it's declared on type person, and the age is a type my age, which is a number. So let's move back the number, and we are okay. And we can share this type person in a different variable. So let's say const user to be of type of person. And we have an underline error. So let's say just my user, I'm going to say. Okay, and this my user is a type person and has a name, age, and the email property, which the name is a type my name, which is a string, age, and so on. Okay, now let's see interfaces. So interfaces are similar to type aliases, except they only apply to object types. So let's create an interface. So I'm going to say here interfaces, and let's create an interface by using the interface keyword. And I'm going to leave here the suggestion. We have person interface, and we have the name, age, and the email. The same we have with a type alias. Okay, we have a type person, which is an object with name property, which is my name, age, my age, email, my email, and the same we have your interface, person interface. The same thing is an object with name, age, and the email. So the same thing we have here. Now, why we may need the interfaces when we have type aliases? Okay, and interfaces can extend each other's definition. So extending an interface means you are creating a new interface with the same properties as the original plus something new. So we have this person interface, and I'm going to say now a new interface, which I have suggested with the person interface too, but I'm going to change that to admin interface. And let's remove also this number 2. Now I have admin interface, which has name, age, and email, the same as the person interface, but also is admin, a boolean. Now instead of adding here the same name, age, and the email, we can remove them and just say here extend the person interface. Okay, and now if we create a new variable, so I'm going to say const, and I'm going to say my admin, which is going to be an admin interface. You can see we have name John, age 30, email, and is admin, and we don't have any error. If I remove one of them, we have the error because property name is missing in type age, number, age, email is admin, but required in type admin interface. So we need to have that. And also if we change from a string to number, also we are going to have the error. So type number is not assignable to type string. So we need to use the same shape we have created here with a name, age, and the email, and also is admin here. And also we can create here, we have my user. Yeah, we have my user, and I'm going to say my user 2. Okay, so const to be my user, but I'm going to say my user 2 now, and I'm going to use the person interface, which has a name, age, and the email, or we can use the person type, and we have the same thing. That is the difference between interfaces and type aliases. So with interface we can extend another interface and just add something new in this one, and we are okay. Okay friends, that's it all about this video. Now let's go to types and create a new file, and I'm going to say interfaces, or I'm going to say aliases and interfaces .ts. Hit enter. We need to go here and select all, copy, and let's go to this one and paste, save. Let's close this. I'm going to remove everything from here and save. Also close this object, and now we are okay. And that's it all about this video. Now if you like such a video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here, welcome back. In this video we are going to take a look at onion type in TypeScript. So far we have learned types such as arrays, aliases, interfaces, any unknown, big int, boolean, number, object, string, and tuples. And here I have created some variables. So let number type to be a type number, string type a string type, and any type an any type. Okay. Now if I say my number type to be equal with 1, we don't have any error. But if we make this a string, of course we have an underline error, because this is so type string is not assignable to type number. Good. Of course the same thing if we say a string type to be equal with a string, no error. But if is 1 here, which is a number, we have here a type number is not assignable to type string. Okay. And with any type, so let's say any type here to be equal with 1 is okay, because any type is for any type. Also with a string, no error. We can assign that with an object, no error, with an array, no error. And what if we want a variable to be either a number or a string, for example? And this is where the onion type helps us. So TypeScript allows you to combine specific types together as an onion type. And onion types are used when a value can be more than a single one. And let's see the TypeScript onion type syntax. So TypeScript lets you create onion type that is a composite of selected types separated by a vertical bar, or let's say here, or I'm going to remove all of them, and I'm going to say let not Boolean type. I'm going to say onion type, and here we have colon, and then we have a type, and then a vertical bar or pipe, or this is also read as or, so number or string. Now this onion type is going to be either a number and string. And let's say, for example, here I'm going to say onion type to be equal with 1, no error. Also onion type to be equal with a string 1, no error. What if I say onion type to be equal with a true, which is a Boolean? Here we don't have, here we have either number or string. Now we have the error, so type Boolean is not assignable to type string. But with any type, if we say any type here to be true, no error. Okay, and let's move that. And also I'm going to remove this as well. Now I'm going to create a function, and let's say function, and I'm going to say print status code. And this is going to, here we are going to pass the status code, which is going to be number, but I'm going to say also number, or because this is going to be an onion type, or string. And here we say console log status code. Okay, now if I say here, now if I call here print status code 200, and let's save this, and I have opened this project. In here we have 200. Also, if I put a string, save, the same thing, we have 200 here. No error. Okay, now I'm going to leave this, and I'm going to create a new method, a new function. I'm going to say function, and I'm going to say print status code 2. We have the status code 2, and here is the status code, which is an onion type, number or string, the same we have here. And now here I'm going to check if type of status code is number, so triple equal number. I'm going to not console log the status code, else I'm going to say console log, and let's say my status code is, and adding here the status, passing here the status code. But if a type of status code is a number, I'm going to check here also if the status code is triple equal with 404. I'm going to say console log not found, and if 200, this is going to be console log okay. Okay, good. Now if I save this, and I'm going to remove this one, and now let's call the print status code 2. Print status code 2, and passing the string 200 here. Let's save, and let's see on the browser. My status code is 200 because this is not a number, and we say console log my status code is 200. But if that is 200 number, let's save, and let's see, we have printed okay. And if that is 404, save, come here. Yeah, we have not found. Very good. Now, what I wanted to show and why I have created two methods here is, for example, here we expect to be either number or string. What if I call here the status code, and for example, I'm going to say the uppercase. Okay, we have the underline error here. So property to uppercase does not exist on type string and number, and property to uppercase does not exist on type number, which is okay expected. Now I'm going to comment this, and the same thing I'm going to call right here. So when I say my status code is, and pass in here the status code to uppercase. And as you can see here, also the IDE, so the VS Code, suggests to add the uppercase here, and we don't have the error because we check if the type of status code is number, is going to execute this code, else, which means it's going to be string, it's going to execute this one. For that, we don't have the error here. So to avoid the error, you need to check if the type of, and for example, status code is number, execute this one, and then if not, it's going to be a string. Okay friends, that's it all about this video. Now let me just go to types and create a new file as always, and this is going to be onion typescript. I'm going to go to first one, select all, cut, and go to the onion ts, paste it here and save, and let's close this, save this and close. All the best friends, and don't forget, if you like such a video, subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here, welcome back. In this video you will learn about the TypeScript intersection types to create a new type by combining multiple existing types. So an intersection type creates a new type by combining multiple existing types, and the new type has all the features of the existing types. Now to combine types we use the AND operator, and let's declare here, let's create two interfaces. I'm going to say interface, and for example I'm going to name it a student, and here I'm going to add the student ID, which is going to be a number, and also the student name, which is going to be a string. And then I'm going to create a new interface, teacher, and here we have the teacher ID and the teacher name. We have worked with the interfaces, so here we have interfaces, create an interface, and then we extend a new interface here, and we add only this one. With the intersection type now, if I create a new intersection type, let's say type, and I'm going to name it intersection type, which is going to be equal with a student and teacher. Okay, so with the onion type, when we declare the onion type, we use the OR operator. Here we use AND, which means with onion type, the onion type is going to have to be either number or string. The intersection is going to be student and teacher, so it's going to have the student and teacher types, which means it's going to have the student ID, student name, teacher ID, and teacher name. Okay, so I'm going to declare a variable here, and I'm going to name it class row, and this classroom is going to be an intersection type, and here we have auto suggestion. So here we need the student ID because, and let me just be like this, and I'm going to close also this one. So the interface student has the student ID and student name, and here we need to add them, student ID and student name, and also teacher has the teacher ID and teacher name, and we added here teacher ID and teacher name because the intersection type is student and teacher. Okay, now if I remove one, of course, we're going to have the error. So type student name string teacher ID name number and teacher name string is not assignable to type intersection type. So property student ID is missing in type student name string teacher ID number and teacher name string, but required in type student. So it's required in here. So we need also to add in our intersection type. And now, for example, let me console log here. So we can get the student ID or student name from this classroom. We can say, let's say just log and classroom student. And here we say classroom and we use dot and for example student name. And let me copy and paste this. Now classroom, I'm going to say teacher and say teacher name. Now if I save and let's open the browser, and we have classroom student is John and classroom teacher is John. But if I change, for example, the name of the student, so I'm going to say Tony, and this is a student, I'm going to say just student, and this, for example, I'm going to name it Elon Musk. And let's save. Now come here, classroom student is Tony student and classroom teacher is Elon Musk. Okay, let's create another example, and here I'm going to create an interface, and I'm going to name it partner. Okay, and here I'm going to add the name, just say name here, which is going to be a string, and for example a credit, which is going to be a number. And then I'm going to create another interface, and I'm going to name it identity. And here I'm going to add the ID, which is going to be number, and the name, which is going to be a string. Okay, and another one, I'm going to create a new interface, and this is going to be a contact interface. So here we are going to have the contact, for example, the email, and I'm going to remove this. So phone, I'm going to remove the name because we have the name here. So phone, email, and the address. I'm going to save. And now let's declare the type. So I'm going to say type, for example, employee, and this is going to be identity and contact type. So it's going to have the ID, name, phone, email, and the address. And also I'm going to create a new type, and this one I'm going to name it customer, which is going to be equal with partner and contact. Okay, so now the customer is going to have the credit and the name, and also the phone, email, and the address. Okay, so the employee type contains all properties of the identity and the contact type. So let's say let employee, which is going to be employee type, and here we have the suggestion, we have the ID because the identity has the ID type here, and also the name. And for example, I'm going to say here employee 1, then we have a phone, email, and the address. Okay, now let's declare a new variable, and I'm going to say this customer, which is going to be a type of customer. And here we have credit name. Because this is a customer, we need to know the credits, a name, the phone, email, and the address. Okay, with the employee, we need the ID, name, and the contact, phone, email, and the address. For customer, we need to know the credits, name, phone, email, and the address. Now, if we open the interfaces, we know for the interface we can use the extend. So interface, the name of the interface, and it's going to extend this interface. So it's going to have all of those types and also this one. But with intersection type, we create an intersection here, a type intersection, and we assign that with 1, 2, or more types we have here. Okay, friends, that's it how we can define a intersection type, and we need to put all the types the student and teacher has on this intersection type. Otherwise, it's going to have the error. Now let me go to types here and create a new file and name it intersection.ts. And we need to go here, select all, cut, let's save this, and let's go to intersection, paste, save, and let's close all of them. And now we are okay. That's it all about this video. I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much. Hello friends, Tony here. Welcome back. So in the previous video we worked with intersection type. We have an example with student and teacher, and in this video I'm going to work with enums, and this is going to be the last video about the types in TypeScript. And an enum is a special class that represents a group of constants. I'm going to create a type, so let's declare a type, not student. I'm going to name it user, and yeah, it's going to have the name and the age. Also, I'm going to add, let's say, the address and the role. Role is going to be the string. Okay, now the role is going to represent if this user is a teacher or a student. Okay, so down there I'm going to say create a constant, which I'm going to name it not user, I'm going to name it student, which is going to be a type of user, and here we have the name, age, address, and the role. Now role is in string, student. Good. Now let's declare also another one, a constant, and I'm going to name it a teacher, yes. And here we have, here we have a type user, so teacher is going to be a type user, and we have the name, age, address, and the role now is teacher. Okay, but as you can see, the role is in the string and here is in string. Now instead of using in that way, we can declare a enum, and we can declare the enum by using the enum keyword. And yeah, I'm going to leave the VS Code with suggestion. So the enum keyword, the name, and then an object, and here we pass the student and teacher. Okay, and now we can use this role enum in here. First, we can say when we create a type user, on the role instead of string, the role is going to be type of role enum. Okay, and then here we have the underline error because type string is not assignable to type role. And now we can say this is going to be role dot student, and let me just make this uppercase and also the teacher to be uppercase, and we need also down there to be with S uppercase. And for teacher, the same thing, we can say role dot teacher. Very good. Now if I console log both of them, so I'm going to log the student and not student name, but all the object and also the teacher, And let's save and let's open the browser. And here we have the student, which is an object with address, age, name, and the role. Now the role is 0. We say here role.student, and by default, enums will initialize the first value to 0, and then it's going to add 1 to each additional value. So teacher is going to be 1. If we have more, it's going to be 2, 3, 4, and so on. For that, we have here 0, and if we see the teacher is, the role is 1, because the teacher is after the student. If we change, so let's save like this, and now we can see the role on student is 1, and the role on teacher is 0. Okay, we can assign that to 0 like this, and the 1 like this, and we are going to have this same result. So role 1 on student and 0 on teacher. But also we can use strings. So we can say here, this is going to be, and I'm going to use all uppercase teacher, and here all uppercase student. And let me save, come here, and now, which is we have role student, and this is more readable. So if we use string is more readable. So we have role, and here we have in strings student, and also role teacher on teacher. Okay friends, that's it all about the enums. So we declare an enum with the enum keyword, the name, and then an object. And here we can add only the names, or we can assign that to a string, and then we can read that string here. Now I see some developers don't like enums on the TypeScript, but just I wanted to show you how we can work with enums. And if you like such a video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your friends, and see you in the next one. All the best. Thank you very much.